Yo, what's up,
So,
bro?
bro, rough day for you, huh?
Dude, every day's a rough day.
I'm just glad you didn't have to go through that like the week of Miami.
I know, bro. I mean, it was my fault, dude, to be honest. I also, when you feel something, you get this gut feeling and you're like, I know I shouldn't do it, but it,
Yeah, I know.
and I
I
said,
mean, I
fuck.
did it. I did it at Boxer once, and I literally came out of the gym and they were literally tying up my car. I'm like, no, no, no. So I had to
I
pay him
mean, fuck,
1.5.
I wish, you still had to pay?
Yeah, he made me pay it to like take off the chains, but luckily I didn't have to like go anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit sucks because then you gotta pay more if they take it to the pound.
So where is your car now? You get it back or?
No, so they had just told the car like 2 minutes before I got there. So they had called the guy came back and I had to just pay him $145 to bring the car back and unload it. But I mean, I got lucky because, I didn't have to Uber to the lot or anything like that.
Oh, that's lucky then, at least.
Yeah, so he brought it back. But
How'd you get in touch with him in the first place?
um, so have you gone to the elevation at Midtown or no?
Uh, well, I was at the oh yeah, I went with you. Yeah.
No, that's downtown.
Oh, there's two?
So now they have one in Midtown. What's it called? So there's you know where Midtown is, right?
Yeah.
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 It's like 5 minutes from the downtown location. So there's an apartment building there, and then they have visitors. So I parked in the visitor, and the visitor you have to pay. I didn't pay, but there's this guy now. Since everybody usually parks in the visitor, there's a guy now working in the garage. So he's the one that called the fucking tow truck company. They came and scooped my car up. So
Well,
yeah.
at
I
least
mean,
it's at least it's sorted now, bro.
yeah, it's cool, bro. It's just $145 that is unnecessary, but
Unnecessary. I
yeah,
feel
it
you.
is, what it is, bro.
But hey, how are you doing, Brandon? How's everything been post show?
So let me see. The show was a week ago, right? What's today's date? Let me see.
Was it like a
Uh,
week and a half ago?
Yeah,
week,
Miami was like a week and a half. Yeah.
yeah, so the week after that, dude, I had the night of, I went out, I ate, I just relaxed. Sunday came, fucking binged. And then that whole fucking week, dude, I was like indulging and just binging on everything. I went up like, dude, I want to say like 15 pounds. Yeah, bro. Like, not that I have a bad relationship with food, right? But after a show, when, especially this prep has been very challenging. It's been long. A lot of shit has
Yeah,
gone.
how long was that, bro? I felt like you were prepping for
Dude, so I was doing
months.
math. I was doing the math a little while ago. So I've been prepping. So I was gonna start prep. I did start prepping for the Arnold just in case I had gotten accepted. That was last year. And then obviously the list came out. I didn't get accepted. So then I was just cruising. And then I officially went into prep this year. January. I've been prepping since, January 11th. So it's been
Okay. Yeah, it's been a minute.
it's been yeah, I've been on prep this whole
Half
year.
the year. Yeah.
The whole year since January.
Yeah, because we worked out at Elevation. I think you went and prepped like pretty much right after that.
Yeah, I've been on prep since the second week of January, pretty much. So, I mean, we're in June now.
But hey, at least that's gonna be the hard part. Now you just gotta kind of hover around, stay in striking distance. So
Yeah, it just kind of sucks, bro, because like bodybuilding, you think about it as, to try and keep balance, with like your life in general. So, these guys that are, they're doing the Olympia, like Aaron Banks. I mean, obviously, like they're competing a few times, right? But like, Brandon Hendrickson usually just does one show. Ryan Terry usually just does one show. So it's like, they have the whole year to just relax if they wanted to, right?
right,
Um, so my plan this year is, qualify right after the Olympia. Obviously, like that means I can take the whole 2026 off. Just let my body relax. You know what I mean? Because this, dude, this takes a toll on your body, right? Like, And especially, time, energy. It's a big mental aspect that, you put in a lot into it. You know what I mean?
So you're
Uh,
taking no matter what happens, you're taking next year off.
well, I mean, it depends. It depends. Like I kind of want to do a show like right after the Olympia to qualify.
Right.
Uh, whatever happens, depending on, next year whatever show I want to do, we'll see. But I want to make sure like that I'm qualified already right off the bat. Because
You're
Yeah.
still gonna qualify for this year though?
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna qualify
Okay.
at St. Pete. I guarantee it. I'll guarantee you
Okay.
that I'm gonna
We know
qualify.
do we have like rumors of who's doing that yet or not really?
Yeah, if you
Oh
want,
yeah, I forgot. They posted it today, right? The St. Pete that you're gonna be there.
yeah. So I signed my
Okay.
contract today, actually. They were just waiting for me. David Hertzke, which is the promoter. I'm cool with
Yeah.
him. So,
Yes.
I told him it's a
Yeah,
funny
good
story,
guy.
right? So last year he was judging the Chiseled Pro, and that's where I met him. That was the first time I ever met him. And they introduced me to him. I spoke to him, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna do your show next year." Obviously, like, I didn't like this year. I was hoping I was gonna, get my Olympic qualification in Miami. But you know how it's crazy how life turns out. It's like God has different plans, and I told him last year I was gonna do St. Pete Pro, and it's happening. So I'm excited for that. I also didn't want to travel, as far as like flying or anything like that, because dude, it's expensive. It adds up. You have to pay for the Airbnb. You have to pay for, your coach to fly out there. You got to pay for the tan. It's an expense. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have sponsors and you do it on your own. It
Yeah.
adds. So I'm trying to, stay, and also the stress of flying and all that. So I'm trying to stay local, do shows in Florida, even though there's not much. So hopefully, this one will be,
Hey, you could always do
Yeah.
Battle of the Bodies with me now that they have the pros going.
yeah, but that's September, you know what I
It's
mean?
far. I know it's far.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So my plan right now is just, we'll get it in St. Pete. We'll shut it down. We'll chill. And then let the body recover because the Olympia's in October, which is not far. You know what I mean? So I need my body to rest and recover fully before I hop back
Well,
into
yeah.
it.
'Cause we're Monday.
Because St. Pete is right after Chiseled, right? No?
It's a week after.
Okay.
So
Yeah, 'cause
Chiseled is 2.5 weeks out right now.
yeah.
Yeah, so 3.5 Pete.
St. Pete is 3.2, 3.5 weeks. Um, I mean, I'll be at Chisel too. Just
How realistically long do you shut it down though after that? Being that the Olympia is only, like less than 18 weeks.
we're in June, July, August, September. Let me see how many weeks, because it's the
I
first
only
week.
know that it's less than 18 weeks because we're going to be at the amateur one, so I know it's going to be somewhere in
Yeah,
that same time frame.
It'll
yeah,
be
we're gonna be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It'll be 14 weeks from St. Pete to the Olympia will be 14 weeks. So give or take, let's say 3.5 months. Um, so I mean, the plan, I gotta maintain, right? Like I gotta maintain, I gotta cruise, just let the body cruise. We'll shut it down, and then hopefully we'll pick up like 8 weeks or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
8 weeks will be plenty of time if I'm trying to stay relatively. Obviously, if I had a little bit more time, my goal is not to surpass 220 anymore. I put the size and I built the muscle that I need. Obviously at Miami, everybody was telling me I was the biggest guy on stage, regardless of like height wise and things like that. I was
right.
the biggest guy on stage, right? So for me, it's not about size anymore, right? And improving muscle. For me, it's just about starting to chisel down um, the body, right? Like when it comes to detailing, like that's what I need to focus on right now. So at this point, I need to stay relatively within a good range weight wise. So I'm not suffering through a whole prep because at the beginning of prep, dude, my weight is flying down. But once I start hitting like 215, 216, um,
Stalling.
dude, my weight does not fucking move. Like I'll be 218 for between 215 to 218, my weight will stay stuck there most likely around like 2 months, and it kind of gets frustrating because, like my weight cap is 202, so that's still about, almost 50, like that's about 15 pounds that I still need to shed, right? So for the Olympia, I'm not trying to pass 215, so that puts me in about what, 13 pounds from my weight cap. So for St. Pete now, I want to be like try and get down to like 199, 198. You know what I mean?
Well, look, we spoke, we texted about this, but I fully back your decision to take, shut it down last year. At the end of the day, um, you added even more shapes to yourself that not that you need more size, but it looks like good size on you. It's proportionate. And it's just gonna take a while to get it drier, and you knew that.
That's what it is. It's like Derek Lunsford, right? Like Derek Lunsford put all this size.
Right.
It's new tissue. You need time to mature.
Banks too, by the way. Like he added size. Remember when he went to Dubai and he
It
wasn't,
takes time, bro.
yeah,
People think that, you're gonna put on this size and then it's gonna look exactly how you expect it to look, completely dry and that peeled, chiseled look right off the back, which, it just doesn't happen, right? It's a process.
yeah,
And people think that, you can build that, put on the size still competing, which, people don't understand that. It's like you need it's a journey, right? Like it takes time. So when people are constantly on prep competing, one, your body's not really recovering. Two, you don't have much time to improve, right? So, for me, it was mainly a mental aspect. I wanted to also improve. I wanted to focus on other things. And then from there, like everything just started falling into place. But, like you need time. You need time. And people are scared to take that time off.
right. Well, let's break down. So let me pull this up. Um, so I think you posted a comparison. So like if I'm looking at this and I know people were
And then
talking
another
about,
thing is too, right? Like people talk about um when it comes to conditioning, right? Like you can't compare a live stream to in person, right? And then obviously the lighting in Miami this year was a lot brighter than last year.
yeah,
So obviously you can't judge these pictures based off a picture, because number one, they're screenshots from a video. Number two, the lighting is completely different. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and the tan's different, it
that
reflects
is
different,
different.
it's all different. But you can tell that, you were definitely a little bit drier and tighter here, but at the same time, it's not just a conditioning game, it's also a shape game, a proportion game. If you look at the width that you've added, I wouldn't say one physique is necessarily better than the other. I think I see on the right side that you have more potential than the left side because you added more size. And if you get that to match the dryness on the left, it's going to beat that physique. But I wouldn't even looking at this, I wouldn't necessarily say you are behind last year at all. I think it's just a slightly different look. But we spoke a bit about your posing, and I know you're going to adjust it, or you already have adjusted it, but elongating this side a little bit to give a bit more of a taper. But I thought it was still a good package, man, overall.
So the thing is, right, like I'm not someone who really speaks much on social media or really posts about my prep, right? I mean that's on me. That's just not something that I do. I mean, I would like to. So people don't really know what was going on through this prep. So, when people see you on stage, it's like, oh, he wasn't conditioned enough, or oh, he was holding water, right? Like my problem wasn't conditioning. My issue was I was retaining and holding water because of stress. So, I mean, like I said, I don't talk about it or post about it. I don't want it to come off as an excuse. So I never made a post about it recently after Miami. I was just gonna finish my season and then from there, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But, I was sick, which I actually just finished not being sick like last week, like probably last week, a few days ago. So I was sick for 3 weeks leading into Miami. I wasn't sleeping for probably 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks for Miami. Um, oh, what else was it? My cardio, right? Like I started retaining and holding a lot of water on my ankles and my legs from the Stairmaster because my body just wasn't recovering. So all these things, and then my back started holding water. So 3, 4 weeks out, I was peeled. You know, I actually posted a video and you can actually see it on my page. Um, I'll tell you, keep right there on the left.
This one?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So like I was drier here, but like I said, all those things people don't think that it plays a role, but the body is so sensitive at this point that everything makes a difference. You know what I mean? Like I was dry here. I wasn't holding much water on my back or anything like that. But then, because I wasn't sleeping, because I got sick, all those things started making me hold water. And for me, everybody's body is completely different, right? Like for me, I hold water when I get stressed out on my back. Like that's my issue. You know what I mean? So the game plan now is completely changed. So I'm excited now, to see how things improve, and they work out for this next show.
And you were posing a little different here too. It looks like you're posing with a little better.
Yeah, dude. So this is exactly how I'm actually posing now again.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I spoke to a judge. They told me to change it. Sometimes every judge has a different opinion on it. So I shouldn't have changed it. I spoke to Steve Weinberger actually at the UGP. I showed him a video and he's like, "Yeah, just posing is perfect. Keep it like that," which I should have listened to him. And obviously, I did not listen to him. I listened to another judge, and it did not work out in my favor. So I'm gonna go back to this posing. Obviously, this looks a lot better. It
Yeah.
shows more of
And
a.
also, when the judge gives you that feedback, right, they're saying hypothetically, hey, you should do this, but it's not like they're standing there in front of you and seeing you do it in practice, and being like, yeah, I'm right. That was a good suggestion. So it's fine for them to give you pointers, but like that judge that told you that, they weren't doing like a live session with you either, right? But then you show Weinberger an actual video, he can see it and give you the thumbs up. So yeah, man, if you come like this, don't hold the water and you pose like this, I think you're for sure front runner for St. Pete. I haven't seen the list, but obviously Miami was a pretty stacked lineup if you want to go through it. Um, Obviously we just went over you, but Ricardo, what are your thoughts on Ricardo?
Um, Ricardo always comes in PO, dude. Ricardo has nasty conditioning. I think his best look though, was at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh was his best look by far. I think he might have not overspilled, but I think he might have pushed a little bit too much. Because his core isn't as tight as it was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
G, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can see how he looked like he could be overfilled.
I also
I
think,
it was actually interesting though because I when we were there in person, we didn't watch a live stream. We watched it from the show. But when we were in Miami, like when I saw you come on stage, Brandon, it was interesting because I knew you were conditioned because I could see like how shredded your core was. But I almost thought like that you may have been flat like because of
Yeah,
the way that certain body parts like weren't popping out. Like you could tell from like Andre and Brandon how they were just so much fuller throughout the like chest and the back. So maybe I thought, because your metabolism and how hard you have to cut down to make that weight cap, I thought maybe you didn't have time to like really fill out like you needed to.
yeah. So we did use a few diuretics trying to make weight. It's for me like that also was a big stress for me, right? So my body also started to retain even more water because I'm trying to push to make that weight cap. Um, so then
Right.
at that point, I'm holding on to water. So we couldn't fill up how we wanted to. So for I spoke to Becky, which was the head judge after finals, and she had told me that yeah, I came back a lot tighter for finals, and I was a little bit flat in the morning. Obviously, after prejudging, we went. My coach told me to go get a burger, go get fries. I munched on that, and dude, like I came back. She told me I came back a lot tighter and fuller.
Yeah,
Uh,
because G had to leave and I came back for finals and I texted him and I was like, yeah, Brandon came back a lot fuller. You could see it pop. But with Ricardo, I mean, he's got such a long torso and his chest isn't as big that he tends to kind of arch backwards a little bit and kind of like upright. And maybe it would help if he crunched down a little bit more. I actually think his best look was Tampa. I think it was last year. I just remember his chest being so full that it didn't like look like a weakness at all. I'm trying to find a shot from.
yeah, he always comes in peeled though, bro. He's never had a
Oh
conditioning
no,
cut.
his conditioning's crazy.
Yeah, he
Uh,
just needs to come in fuller. Like that's the problem. He just has very long
this
extremities
one,
for
I
him.
thought this was his best look ever, and maybe I'm wrong, but I just thought that his conditioning, his fullness, and his pop, and his tan, like everything, just
Everything was just on point.
I thought this was definitely his best, and his posing, like he wasn't arching back. I thought he was a little bit more crunched over.
Yeah,
I
look at
personally,
his
yeah,
chest.
yeah, I
His
thought when he walked out of this show, I was like, holy shit. I was like, this guy's crazy. Um, but yeah, I thought that was his best, but good, still obviously always bringing conditioning, like you said. Um, he's got that freak factor. And then Croce in fourth. Um, I don't know. I mean, he's got crazy size, but his abs don't really show. Like his obliques do a little bit, but his core, he's almost like vacuuming his stomach in.
yeah,
But I'm trying to decide like what they were looking for here because you know if you're even like looking at you and you weren't even you were holding a little water, but like you can see more detail on you, maybe not in your chest, but certainly in the core. So do they have a back shot here? Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I was about to say switch it around.
I mean he's
I think it's probably just the dryness. Like that's what I was trying to say in
yeah,
person. I feel like because you were flat, like it wasn't popping to the skin, you know? Like when you're flat, it makes you look not conditioned. It's like a
exactly.
weird trade-off, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, you're right. That's the thing about my weight cap, right? Like
Yeah.
I go so far by my weight cap and I try and cut down. And for me, it's very, very difficult because I have so much muscle. So I'm not able to really fill up on time. Um, now obviously, like after doing Miami, I'm a lot closer to the weight cap. So making weight won't be an issue. And hopefully, now we can fill up leading into the show. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
but we
that's
aren't even over it. Like you also put on size, man. So it's gonna take time for that to really pop. So I wouldn't be too
But
hard.
also him staying at like the lower weight, like you say, you're gonna kind of maintain. I think that'll be better for you going into the Olympia
Oh yeah.
for sure. Like you
yeah,
won't, not
I'll be
having to
better.
come down. So yeah, exactly.
Even though this placing wasn't what you wanted, I really do feel like it was still a good first show of the season for you. You got data. You didn't come in your 100% anyway from being sick and everything, and you still gave a presentable physique, and there's improvements left. I think it would be worse if you came in and you felt like you were at your best and you came sixth, right? Because then you're like, what am I going to do now? But obviously you have a game plan now and you kind of know where you need to tweak. Just the pictures you sent me the other day, you're posing, I mean, already looks night and day. But yeah, I mean, Croce
I
brought his
don't
conditioning.
necessarily I'm not gonna sit here and say like it's my best or it's my worst. I know we can improve. I mean, it's the name of the game, right? It's life, in life you should want to improve in every aspect, right? So I know that we can come in tighter. Like I said, for me, it's not a size game anymore. I think I like if you see the pictures, obviously I think I have more one of the most density, thickness and most muscular there in the top
Yeah,
six.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just drying it up and detailing each, the muscles.
yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah.
Refinement.
Croce,
Yeah.
hands up for Croce. I mean, he came in peeled. I just think maybe it's genetic with his core, but other people have similar problems. I know Vitor's had some issues with his core too. Um, it seems like he's pinching his back quite a bit as well, which doesn't
Yeah,
help.
he needs to learn how to. So his posing is terrible when it comes to the front and the back. If he for his front, his waist, he has a non-existent waist, right? So if he hits his front pose a little bit more square,
Yeah.
he would look gnarly
Yeah,
because
I was
he's just
wondering why he was angling so significantly. I didn't
yeah, it's just how he poses. I'm not sure why. I don't. He doesn't need a. It's that's mainly for guys who have a square or thicker waist. But in his case, right, like he has such a small waist and very wide clavicles, so he doesn't really need to hide that waist, right? Like he can stay squared up and he'll dominate.
I mean, here his core was a lot wider. Um, I mean, you can see a lot more
Yeah.
definition
I just think his problem is as well that maybe he tries to fill up too
too
much.
much, over spills. Yeah. I mean, even here, he was like posing a
He's
little bit more
always
like that.
yeah, you see what I'm saying?
That's
But
crazy.
he can bring that back shoulder up so to the front a lot more. Um, he always comes in peeled, but he definitely needs more
He needs more
density.
thickness in the back.
Yeah,
But crazy physique. I think if he posed, you can just tell by the snippets here, like the
really nice
difference.
structure.
What?
He's got a really nice structure.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, even here he's posing. You can see his feet are farther apart and he's not as angled, and it's definitely a better look for him. But solid placing for him. And then we have Victor Ramirez. I've always been a fan of his physique. I think it's very aesthetic. Um, I mean,
He's got a lot of muscle too, dude. He's dense. He also struggled to make that weight cap.
I felt like he was one of the smaller guys though in the top six.
No, he's a big guy.
He's just got it's a very aesthetic core. Nothing really dominates,
And he's got big legs, dude.
Well, look at Croce's, by the way. Croce's legs are crazy. They're nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Victor
Ramirez looked good.
yeah, Victor Ramirez, I think this was his best look to date.
I think
One of his best looks.
I feel like he's posing his core a little differently though in Miami. Maybe this was just a time because sometimes these are just,
Yeah, it was probably a
yeah.
screenshot or something. It
But
was you're from NPC News most likely.
yeah. And then we
Um
got Deiu in the second place,
yeah, I think he was full, he was dry. I think he also needs to work on his posing.
which he has. It seems to get better. We'll quickly look at Legions after this, but it seems like it's getting better. Which one of these guys, like when you got there, were there any one of these guys that stood out to you in person the most? Like you were just like a little surprised or taken aback?
So Victor, I've seen Victor in person already. I've seen Ricardo in person. Ricardo Croce, I've never seen in person. That was my first time. Andre Deiu, that was my first time seeing him. Andre Diew's a really big guy, dude. Like,
Oh, he's
I
massive.
didn't think he was that big, but dude, he's a big guy. He's full. He came in tight. Brandon, I've seen Brandon in person. I've worked out with him. Brandon's not a big guy. He's just very compact.
All right, let me go back here. Yeah, he's just very well balanced. His shoulders, his chest, everything is really 3D. I think G, you said it, like no matter where he poses, he looks the same. Like it's not like if he angles
Yeah,
differently, it makes him look worse. It's like any angle, he'll look like fucking
yeah.
beheaded.
The front shot is any angle the cameraman catches him, he looks perfect.
Yeah.
And
It's
the thing is, right, like in men's physique now, they don't want big guys, right? So it's not a size game anymore. So, if you're thinking about, okay, I'm gonna get bigger and bigger, you're not gonna win any shows, right? So they're looking for mainly condition, detail. Obviously, like, you can't be small either in the sense of like you need to have that density, you need to have that width. But when it comes to, like being huge, like they don't want big anymore. They rather go with aesthetic structure and that tight conditioning. So that's another reason why for me, I don't mind slimming down as much as possible. Like I used to want to be at my weight cap, at 202, but I don't mind trying to push 198, 199, 198, 197 maybe.
That's
Uh,
crazy considering you're what, 235 in the off season?
yeah, I think I hit like 235 in my off season. I mean, I always stay in shape. Like I still had abs at 235, right? And my weight cap's 202. So
Well, personally, I think this is the best front, like one of the best front shots. This picture doesn't do it justice, but I thought Brandon's front shot at this show was pretty crazy. I think it felt like his waist, like he was getting blockier, and then he's
I
been
think
able to
New
keep.
York was his best look.
Sorry, what?
I think New York was his best look.
New York?
Yeah,
Um,
I think New York might have been his best look because he wasn't holding any water on his back. He had like that slight water on his lower back in Miami.
the lighting here is crazy too. They have really good lighting in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked really good in New York.
His back is definitely more dense than it is wide. But yeah, this was a good look. His peak was on point.
Yeah, and then it's probably, another for the reason of him coming off Pittsburgh, so it's like he peaked the next week, So if doing a show and then you do another show, that second peak is gonna come in hard. That's what I did last year. I did the Optimum for my pro debut, and a week later I did Miami. And I came in so much better for Miami.
Yeah.
You know. So it's hard to peak three times, dude. It's very hard to peak, back to
I feel
back.
like he posed his back better at Miami though. Like his posing, his arms were a little lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, he's been looking
He's
really.
just got a very dominant front, which keeps him in the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's his bread and butter. His back. I mean, I would say maybe Ali's back hasn't even been his strong suit, but it'll be interesting to see side by side what that looks
He
like.
also comes in peeled.
Yeah. Let's move on to want to do Legion, or I mean, we can quickly talk about yeah, yeah, Legion.
Andre, yeah, this was Andre's best look. I mean, from the
Pose
front,
better too. His posing got better.
yeah, just from the front, bro. It's just his abs are very washed. So Bossa looked really good from the front.
Possible. His front shot
Yeah,
is
Bossa
nuts. I,
different.
yeah, his front shot is crazy. It's just when he turns to the back, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Boss's left lat and rear delt are significantly smaller than the right side. Like
his
you
back
can't,
is soft.
sorry?
His
Yeah,
back was just soft. Like if you look at Andre Dew's, like Andre Dew's back is just fucking.
Well, now that he knows how to pose it too, because he remember the start of the season, he wasn't posing it right, and then he fixed it, and then it's like, holy shit, he has a back.
It's just Andre Dew's back is just peeled, bro. Like it's so dry. Compared to all these other guys, I don't think he really had competition here at Legion.
No, no. I mean, he just the
Honestly,
completeness, because his front, I mean, yeah, the hardness, the size, the shape. I do think was the shock of the show, though. I forget someone I haven't followed him that intensely, but someone was saying he usually had a problem with his lower abs showing, but not here. His core looked great.
yeah. And then I'm also a fan of Ruben. Ruben's got a really nasty physique, third place.
Yeah. He poses, I don't know if it's the best pose for him. Maybe angle a little more.
yeah. He
He's got a really,
Benny. Yeah, he does. He has a really dope look.
I feel like this
He's full too, bro.
That's the G. That's your shot. Yeah, he seems to be posing a little better his front shot there than maybe it's just again, it's hard to tell with these
Yeah,
pictures.
it's pictures. That's what it
Hard to
is.
Yeah,
tell.
go to the back shots.
Was he bending his knee though when he was posing? I forget.
Yeah,
I know Kyler, because he's a guy that he's a cuts guy, took some time off and came back. I mean, he came in really dry. Um, and then you have, I know Shun has done, he ran the gauntlet last year. He's done a lot of shows.
I'm not sure who that is.
Shun, he is done quite a few shows, handful last year. He's got an aesthetic core. I think he just needs a little bit more size, especially against guys like, Basa and Deiu.
Yeah.
But it's a very
Um,
aesthetic look. Like it's very balanced. It's
some
just I think size.
chest too. Like
What's
the guy with six has a nasty full chest.
yeah. Kyler peaked well. I mean, he's a cuts guy. Cuts does a great job getting them ready. And then we had I don't know who the fifth place guy is. Oh, Thomas Miller.
another cuts guy.
I'm pretty sure Cuts had five guys in the top six.
He looked good. He's just a little flat.
I think similar. I think he just needs a little more size in his chest and shoulders. But
More some more density.
Back to.
yeah, his obliques. I mean, he was peeled,
Yeah, it was peeled.
peeled. Uh, yeah, but Bassa. I mean, he's gonna be. I think he's doing.
He's doing I think Toronto.
No, he's doing Mile High or DC. No, he's doing DC. That's what he's doing.
DC, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing DC. Um, yeah, I mean, he's crazy front shot. He really knows how to pose and angle his weight. It's
Yeah,
just That's
he looked
just his back. If you can even that left side out a little bit, I think it'll help a lot. Because you can even tell in the photos that like you can see the definition in this right lat. It's just not there on the left side. And I don't know if it's just he's not engaging. His arm does look a little higher, so it could just be a posing thing. It's hard to tell.
yeah, it could also be just the picture itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
but
just pictures.
great look for him. I just think it's unfortunate he had to stand next to Dio because Dio came in lights out.
Yeah, this was easy for Andre.
So we have, and then we had what else? I know we had Optimum recently, whereas
I didn't watch Optimum.
that was so skinny macho.
Yeah, I didn't see Optimum.
Micah Thomas is pretty consistent in the top six in all the shows he does. This is the Indian guy, got really nice shape to him. Um, I feel like do you think in his stance, if he just kind of bent this knee, he would add a little bit more to his X frame?
It's not even about bending
Yeah,
the knee. It's about um a little wider stance.
Yeah, a little wider for sure.
he's too close. Yeah,
It's way too close.
Because it's not even that he has like tiny legs. It's just, it makes him look, yeah, just narrower.
And the guy in sixth place is doing he's doing St. Pete.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, if you go to St. Pete's page, they've already posted like six, seven
the
people
list.
competing. Not the list, because the list comes out the week of when
Okay,
contracts are closed.
let's
Um,
see.
but they
Uh,
posted, I think like six, seven guys already.
oh, you said St. Pete?
Yeah, go to St. Pete's page. So go to the picture I post that I collabed today. Oh, there, yeah,
Right here. Yeah, this. Yeah.
yeah. So,
So we got
that guy, that's him. He just did Miami. The guy, the last picture they posted,
this one.
yeah,
Let's see.
that's one, two, three, four. That's four people so far.
Yeah, he's got a interesting shape to him. Very boxy. What else we got? Was this the guy? No.
No, I think he's above on the left.
Oh,
Yeah,
here it is. Yeah, this is him.
my friend actually preps him up in Tampa. He's got a good
Smaller frame.
small frame. Yeah, he's a short guy,
Yeah.
but he's got a nice structure, nice physique.
I feel like he's kind of caving in his chest a bit. Um, yeah, like you can kind of tell he's got his arm really far out, and his chest is kind of divoting in a little bit.
Could be his structure.
Could be as well.
Yeah,
But what do you think of Skinny Macho's physique? I think
he's got a dope
I
physique,
mean, a lot
bro.
of people compare him to Morris just because of the higher lats.
He's very short though,
He is short.
Yeah. But crazy physique though.
like nasty,
Like
nasty.
on that like for being that height, it's crazy the way that
I think
everything pops.
for me, I would compare him to Emmanuel Hunter.
Really?
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, over Corey Morris.
Yeah. I feel like they have very different ab structures, but
Yeah, but as far as like
everything else, yeah, yeah,
chest fullness, that back structure, that I
yeah.
think he reminds me a lot of Emmanuel Hunter.
Dude, that's man, he's been bulking for a while.
He's doing Tampa Pro. He's actually getting ready for the Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah,
He's nasty, bro. He's full.
he's got like that freaky just 3D physique. Yeah. I mean his again, another guy, I guess a little bit like Diogo, where his core didn't really show the definition. He had good shape and everything, but if he can get his abs to pop a little bit, they're just pretty shallow.
Even
But
a guy that he doesn't hit his every peak on point. But he's always in that top four of the Olympia. So, he's got a nasty physique, bro. That fullness is just absurd. Like structure, small waist, that V taper, that fullness to the chest, shoulders.
I mean, his back is just stupid.
Yeah.
Was it the Arnold he didn't come in what good peaked?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
He
tell
came
his
out.
core looks watery. But no matter what, the thing is, if he comes out, he's still gonna have that vascularity up top. Gee, he's a little bit like Chris, where he has that like
It's like
crazy
same thing
muscle
as
mass up top.
Yeah.
Ricardo. Ricardo's the same way, you know what I mean? Like he comes in peeled, but he might spill over and his core might not be as tight, but he's still super vascular.
Yeah, a little bit like Diogo, right? I mean, Diogo, he's had the most feedback. The only thing that's held him back really is his core has sometimes looked a little washed on stage.
Yeah.
But I thought he's started to fix that a little bit. Diogo's looked really good. Yeah, at his last show.
His
But
best look was at the Arnold.
the one that he won,
Um,
or
where he got
the recent one.
Y- Yeah, it's pinned on his page. Yeah, that was a sick look.
yeah,
Yeah, that one.
This was
Yeah,
the
that
one
was
he.
a crazy look.
This was
that was his best look.
2024. Yeah. It's like his lower abs sometimes just fade, but like his the top half is there.
It's just structure, right? Like that separation, you can't his back is nasty. There's nothing you can do about separate like the it's just the way you're born, right? Like with the separation.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no, yeah, for sure. But again, he has that crazy vascularity on his chest.
yeah, he looks nasty.
Oh, real quick, want to give a shout out to my boy Garrison. He looked crazy at um at Junior USA. So he's going to be doing the World Classic, which is the one right after Junior Nats, the new pro show
Yeah, I saw him
Where's
at
that?
he won the overall at
in
UGP, right?
Chattanooga.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah,
Yeah, he won
Florida Grand
UGP, he
Prix.
won FGP, and then he won overall at Junior USA.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's it's actually more of just he's so conditioned and so
Really,
symmetrical.
I didn't see him so conditioned at UGP.
You mean FGP?
Yeah, yeah, the Grand Prix.
Yeah,
Bro,
I thought
he was
he needed to
he
tighten up.
he was conditioned. He just got even tighter. I mean, I think he's pretty conditioned there. I wouldn't say he's not conditioned.
He's got a nasty structure.
And he only prepped for like 8 weeks for this.
Yeah, I remember.
He's a Ben Quill guy. Ben Quill brings his guys in really,
You
really.
see, look at his lower back. You see, he had some like little a roll.
water.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's water. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, I mean, he looks.
got a really dope look.
He's got really good shape, really good shape. His shoulder to waist ratio, his core aesthetics definition.
That
I
hand
think,
on hip for him looks best.
I think so too.
See, here he came in tighter.
Yeah, you could still get a little tight in the back. I think
Yeah.
he's probably one of those guys that gets leaner in the front first, and then the back takes a little longer. So it'll be interesting now that he does his third show of the season. He basically said he kind of rushed his prep for FGP. So
Show is he doing next?
the World Classic, it's the new one that's literally the day after Junior Nats.
That's a pro show, right?
Yeah, he because he won his card. So because he texted me, he's like, "Oh, I'm doing Junior Nats," and I was like, "But you got your card." He's like, "Oh, I'm doing the pro show."
the pro show is called Junior Nets.
No, it's called the World Classic. Maybe it's NPC Junior Nat. Yeah. So this show right here, I'm pretty sure
Is
this
this
is
the
the.
first year of this?
I think
Oh, this
so.
is a new show. Yeah, Manifest is holding the show. Yeah, yeah, it's a brand new show.
Yeah. Kind of like was Florida because Florida Pro is the first Florida Pro last year, right? But it's interesting. I'm guessing if that's the
Yeah,
day after, wait, that's Friday the 20th, and then oh, okay, so the pros go before the amateurs.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking they could have some amateurs just go straight into because I know in India that big the India show that Toplin did, there was literally a guy that won his card and then went straight to the pro stage. Like
Yeah, so sometimes they'll do like let's say if it's like a Saturday, Sunday or like a Friday, Saturday show, sometimes they'll compete like, one day and then the pro show will be the next day.
which of these shows are you most excited for? I mean, I think Mile High is pretty stacked.
So I only know here
Maybe not. I don't know.
Lamar,
Dallas, Skinny Macho, obviously.
Dallas. I'll give this one to my boy Alex Gibson. Um, I th Dallas will take this one.
Dallas, Anik will be in the top six again.
I think Dallas will take this show.
Yeah. Antoine. And then you have DC is Bassa,
This one will be
Vinicius.
it'll be if Vinicius can come in how he came in for the Arnold, Vinicius will take it. But I think it'll be between Vinicius and Bossa.
Let's see, Venetius.
Vinicius is insane physique.
His back is nuts. Is he a cuts guy?
I'm not sure.
Was he at the O last year? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, but his back is gross.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he how he comes in. Was this the Arnold? Yeah. It's not a video though.
Yeah, he's gross.
He's got a really good back. His back is definitely
He's
his
not
strong side.
consistent, but when he comes in sharp, dude, he's on. Like when he's on, he's on.
But structurally, I think I don't know. I still think the problem is Bosa's back is just not gonna compete with this. That's the problem for him.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be if
If Vinicius comes in peaked well, yeah, you're right. It's gonna be hard for Bosa to beat the back. Whereas I feel like if Vinicius was going against a Dallas Botchway, he might struggle just because Botchway has a good back and his taper is just so much more drastic. It really depends on what shows they enter, what the lineup looks like. But all right, guys, well, this was fun, Brandon. So we're pumped to see what's next for you at St. Pete. Um, I think I think with the tweaks you're making and just knowing where you have to improve it. And part of it's not really your fault, right? Like you got sick. So,
yeah, I wasn't sleeping. Like just a lot of variables, right? That this time around, where cardio's different. I'm not doing. So far, I haven't done the Stairmasters after Miami. It's just been strictly treadmill. Um, compounds changed a little bit. Um, hopefully sleep sleep is better. It's not the best, but it's better. And then obviously I'm not sick anymore. So hopefully all these little things, will benefit me. So we'll see. We'll just have to see. It's 3 weeks. 3 weeks is it's a lot of time, but not a lot of time.
well, now you have the Elevate, right? That's going to be the difference right there.
Yeah. The good thing is that it's a local show. You know what I mean? It's not I don't have to worry about flying or anything like that. So and then my weight is a lot closer, so that's less stress on my body. So it's gonna be fun. I'm hoping to cruise into the show. That's
What
it.
let's see. So that's what's the exact date of that?
June 28th.
Damn, okay. I'll be in Spain. I'll have to I'll have to try to stream it in Barcelona.
I think they will have a stream. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I have a friend's wedding about an hour from Barcelona.
Sweet.
I have three weddings in like 3 weeks. It's crazy. But two of them line up well with Universe because our buddy Chris is doing Universe. So I can hit both New Jersey, New York weddings right after that. I just hate doing things on prep, especially traveling. It's
I
just,
don't like doing shit on prep. It's so taxing.
I
You
know.
just want to
I
relax.
got invited to this wedding before I knew exactly when I was going to be in prep, and I kind of had to commit. And it is what it is. It'll be 3 days, whatever.
Listen, it's a good thing in the sense of like, right, like when you're hungry, you're distracted, you're moving around, so it's got its pros and cons, right? When you're deep in prep and you're depleted, maybe like within 3, 4 weeks of a show, at that point it's like, dude, you just want to rest. You just want to just relax, chill, as least amount of energy that you can
Yeah.
waste.
I'll still have plenty of time. It's
Yeah.
not that close. And honestly, I probably actually prefer it now than doing it when I was in peak bulk because there's no way. I mean, trying to get down that amount of food while traveling is harder than just being hungry.
You
Like,
do, you do mini cut.
yeah, well. Yeah, no. So
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I'll be fine. G's getting me really tight early, just so we don't need to stress too much later, which is really nice. Just because I'm not used to. My last coaches never did high-low days with me. There wasn't much manipulation. It was a very simple, like, hey, let's get you up a little bit, and then we're just gonna drop you. And it was good. It was basic, good for like starting off. But now at the point where I'm trying to get to like amateur O and get to the national stage, like there needs to be more manipulation there, more checks during the prep on like what the peak is going to look like, a little more attention to detail. So I'm excited. Gee, you started prep today, right?
Day one.
Although I'm a little jealous, you got 300 grams of rice on your prep meal. Like, what the hell's going on, bro?
Yeah, the beginning of prep is
Uh,
fun, dude. It's
No,
really fun.
dude, my predicting in prep was five low
I'm
days.
hoping I can stay on a high carbs the whole prep. Hopefully,
I
the
mean, because
metabolism just starts
Yeah,
firing.
at the end of the day, right, like you want to be ready as soon as possible. Not necessarily as soon as
Yeah,
possible, right? But you want to be ready before time. That way, you can cruise into the show. At that point, you can reduce inflammation, you can reduce cardio. You can start eating towards the show and stay fuller. Just all those variables are gonna make a huge difference when you step on stage, you know, especially you guys that don't have a weight cap, right? Um,
yeah.
that's the best thing you could do. Just be ready on time, ready
yeah.
ahead of.
I was training with Ben Quill the other day, and he was like, "Oh, like you should probably just do a recomp for 2 months, a couple months, push everything back 2 months." But at the end of the day, I mean, I spent 16 months in off season. Um, Now with the T like helping out, I think it'll be interesting to see what look I bring. G's pretty confident I don't need a second stab to get my national qualification. It'll be, but we don't know, right? Battle Bodies, it's blowing up now. They're promoting it really hard. It's gonna be a big show.
Yeah,
So,
especially now that it's a
but
pro show as
but I'm
well.
totally fine with that. I want the smoke. If you, at the end of the day, if you want to go to big shows, do nationals, you got to be ready to compete well before that. So it'll be interesting to see where I stack up with the improvements I've made. Um,
Get
but
some feedback and then fine tweak.
yeah, and the good thing is Tyler's doing it, right? Tyler's judging it. Um, I could always, there's still other shows I can do after that, but I think, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. G's got a pretty good handle on my body now. I'm glad that I was able to start working with him far enough out that he could start learning my body. Like, for example, I do better with carbs than I do with fats generally. So now he knows he can up my carbs more on high days instead of the fats. Little things like that.
That's the good thing also about being ready, right? Like you can do you not necessarily not peak, but you can do like some test trials, right? Like
Yeah.
see how your body responds because how your body responds now with this body fat or this body weight is not the same when you're almost at stage, right? Like when you're peeled. So at that point, like maybe fats will work a little bit better to keep you fuller because fats, they slow digestion. So it just depends, you got to play around with it because the body does start to change from now.
Every
You
every prep's a little different too, right?
yeah,
So, I think mentally I'm in a better mental space now. Plus, once you've done or more shows, you start to get the hang of it, and you're not. But even Brandon Hendrickson, he needed a show to get the dust off, right? Like, I haven't been on stage and it'll be 2 years, right? So, it'll be good to get back on, and it's so local, like no stress, right? Like it's down the road,
yeah.
and
And plus, you're getting ready ahead of time. That makes
yeah, the
things
goal is for both
less stressful on you.
G and I is the plan is G and I do amateur O together, and it'll be fun because we're in the same class. So my hope is I get to see my boy get his pro card on stage with him. That'd be fun. But
Yeah, God
yeah,
willing.
but it's all a process. But it'll be interesting. I'm surprised that they were able to get the men's physique pro established so quickly. Because I was at FGP, I was with Janet, Ben Quill, and all them, and they started talking about how they could promote it more. And then, literally within a couple weeks, they made the announcement that Tyler was judging and that they're getting the pro men as well as the pro bikini. So,
Yeah, because I forgot who it was that they had mentioned that they're doing pros for Battle of the Bodies, and I'm like, dude, they don't have a pro show. And then one of my boys, because he's doing the pro show there, and I'm like, it's an NPC show. He's like, no, it's a pro show now. So I mean, yeah, I guess it was just relatively brand new, like within the last few weeks or so that they promoted
They
the
announced it, yeah.
And it's gonna be the last chance to qualify for the O. And not only that, so there's the reason for people to get their qual, and then
what's
also
the
people.
date?
It's September 13th.
That's the last day to qualify for the O.
Well, I know the bikini was, unless there's different rules, but
Yeah, it's probably the same then.
and then the other point of it is if you have qualified, you get to get in front of Tyler before the O and get last minute feedback. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up. And it's in Florida, right? Like people usually are okay traveling to Florida. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's not like a middle of nowhere state, right? So, you know, uh, but yeah, I mean, you'll, you know, everything goes smoothly. You'll have shut it down well before then, and you'll be kind of just,
Yeah,
you
I'll shut it down in 3.5 in 3.5 weeks. It's
know,
after.
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying.
He's,
Hey.
he's got it.
That's what
He's
I
got it
want to hear.
all.
I didn't want to say it for you, bro, but I'm glad you said
Yeah, no,
it.
I'm shutting it down after that. I'm definitely
No,
Yeah,
qualified.
dude,
let's get it.
I'm proud of you for not letting the noise impact you. You know, you every time something says not even negative stuff because everyone likes you, right? Like you're a well-liked athlete. It's just when people give their 2 cents on things, it like you hear it and then it's just like this is
Dude,
what
it's
I'm
just,
doing.
like, I try to keep my circle small and I just stay in my own lane because at the end of the day, right, everybody has their own opinion. People are gonna talk no matter what. So it's like if you let it get to you, it's gonna deviate you from your path, from, and God always has a plan. Like what's meant for you, it'll happen regardless, whether it's gonna
It ain't
happen.
gonna miss you.
Yeah, it's gonna happen at some point, right? So if it didn't happen now, like, obviously I didn't win Miami, it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? So everything happens for a reason, bro. That's the way I put it, right? So as long as you just put in the work and you stay in your own lane, the rest will just fall into place.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you have the right mindset. You run your race, right? You make sure you have the right people to support you. And how old are you right now? I forget,
27.
bro. Plenty of time. Plenty of
The way
time.
You're
it is,
27, bro?
yeah, I'm 27.
Damn, dog. What the fuck?
You're making G feel old, even.
Yeah, bro. What the
Yeah, so the way I see it is like, if you ain't rocking with me, then, I don't need you around. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I need that up positive. Like if you're not at my level or above me, right? Like I don't necessarily want you around. Like I need a benefit off somehow, right? It's not even me trying to be selfish, but sometimes you need to be selfish, right?
you got to set a standard for yourself and what you want and the people that you have
right.
around you because those are going to be the people to also elevate you as well,
Yeah.
with the energy that they're bringing to the table. So
A lot
Be
of people
ruthless.
think that just because obviously like you yourself you want to see yourself progress and be at the top, but they think that they can't support others and want to see them accomplish shit as well, right? Like obviously I want to see myself at the top. I want to see you guys get your pro card. Like just because I want the best for myself doesn't mean that I can't want the best for you guys. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to get to the same level. We're all putting in the same work. We all have the same 24 hours, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, right, like we're all working to be our best version. That's all it is. So
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. It might be my own opinion, but like that's why I keep my circle small.
yeah, bro. And like I said, people have nothing but good things to say about you, and that's because of your character. But even so, even people, even if they say something that's not a negative thing, it's still their opinion, right? And it's like, for people to say, "Oh, you shouldn't have shut it down," it's like, well, it's easy to say on the outside, but you're not in their body. It could be a mental reason. It could be, you know, it's
A
just a
health
life
issue,
choice.
it could be money, it could be a
It could
family.
be a mental
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I know you had some allergies, things you were working through, figuring out what foods worked with you. So there was a lot of things going on. I think you had a really successful rookie season, and that's the why people were saying it. But if you weren't as successful, they wouldn't be talking about you. So in a way, it's still good to be talked about. It's just as long as you're conscious with how you receive it, right? It's good to be talked about, and then, like I said, it's not the bad kind of drama. There's other drama going on in the division, and at least it's pretty tame. But
And
I,
time will pass, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like people don't think it's like I'm gonna take a step back to take two forward, right? So regardless, like you take a year off, 6 months off, like that time is gonna pass quickly. So if you don't make the improvements you need with that time, you're gonna be at the same place 6 months from now, a year from now. And
Right.
it's like you're gonna look back and be like, damn, like I regret not taking that time off to improve. You
Right.
know, the point is like progressing. So if you think that 6 months, at the end of the day, right? Like I got my feedback, and my feedback was to improve certain things. So I needed that time to improve. Like everybody, like you need time to improve. Like time is your best friend. Time, patience. This prep has taught me the true definition of fucking patience, right? We all lack patience to a certain extent. But patience for me has been like number one. It's been a fucking ride. One hell of a fucking ride, I'll tell
Well,
you.
especially at your age, take that extra time now to make the improvements, right? Like, don't wait till you're like, because once you're in your 30s and you just want to kind of tweak and 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 be where you want, now's the time to take that extra time, right? Like, don't be greedy now. Be a little bit greedier later, maybe. But yeah, dude, you have the size, you have the shape. Um, have you ever had thoughts about eventually going to Classic, or is that just
Yeah, dude. But I mean, now I just, I fell in love with the division. I really like men's physique. I don't want to put my health at risk, going up in all this, like, dude, when I hit 230s, I'm uncomfortable. It's a lot of food that I got to put down. Compounds increase, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, one, I love men's physique. The division has become so competitive and so popular. I think it's number one right now when it comes to bodybuilding, as
yeah.
far as the men's side. I like being aesthetic all year round. So I'm gonna stay men's physique. I don't see myself going up to classic. Maybe at one point, but I don't think I'm
That would
gonna
be
go.
more, if anything, maybe just to finish off the career, right? Like,
Yeah, just to say that I competed at the classic stage, but I don't think I'm going to move up to classic, especially now. I had to stop training legs, right? So now I'm just molding my physique for men's physique division. That's the thing, like my legs are also not small. So, and they hold a lot of weight.
yeah.
So, I got a weight cap. So now it's just molding my physique to the division, to the criteria. That's all it is.
We'll be rooting for you, man, as always. Um,
Oh
congrats
yeah,
on
3.5 weeks.
congrats on Miami,
Let's get it.
honestly. Like, it was still a good look.
It
Great
feels like a
stuff.
long time, but I'm like, fuck, like I kind of want to get there already because I love the stage, bro. Like, it was a whole year off. And I love being on stage and in front of the judges, in front of you guys. That like that entire day of like taking pictures with you guys, the supporters, talking to everybody. It's fun. It's
Bro,
the
I did cook on some of those photos.
Dude, nasty. Really
You-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
It's a fun day, bro. I love show day. Even the day before, it's a little stressful, like for me, this for Miami, leading up to Miami because of the wake up. But like show day, dude, show day is so fun. You get to step on stage, you get to talk to everybody, you
Your
take.
hometown. It's your
Yeah.
hometown
I'm
too.
just saying in general, like any show, right? Like
Yeah.
after the show, you get to eat, you know what I mean? So it's like it's
Bro,
a, it's a fun day. It's a
I
special
love
day.
the show day. That's why I know the national shows, they're more like half days. They'll basically just run through like
The
prejudging
national
and
shows
stuff.
is long, dude.
And I and someone asked me back when I was natural if I would do it. I'm like, to be honest, like I want the full day. Even if it's a long day, like I trained so long to just enjoy this entire moment. I don't care if it's late. The only thing that's
It's
annoying is
awesome.
it is exhausting, but I enjoy it just because it's like game day, right? And I rather my game day, I don't want to train just to be done at 2 o'clock, you know? Because then it's also like there's something nice about ending it like around dinner time, so you get to go out somewhere with people, but you end at like 2 o'clock. It's like that awkward time. People are just gonna go home. Um, so I don't mind it. I do think I'll stand by this. They need to start doing masters on separate days. Like, because not only do you have the masters athletes, but you also have the open people that are also doing masters and double dipping. So it ends up taking like 60-70% of the show is just
And
masters.
sometimes you also have NPCs, so you have all those.
Right. So they should really do like either Masters is a completely separate show where it's only Masters, or at least have it on a separate day so that athletes that are in their prime, it's nothing wrong. I mean, we love seeing Masters athletes. It's just, you know, when you're in the peak of your professional career, like that's kind of that should be the focus of that day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, let us know if you need anything. I'll hit you up and try to come down to elevation at some point. Um, get a lift in.
Yeah, we'll coordinate
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Appreciate you coming on, Brandon.
I know. G, have you been to elevation yet?
Not yet, but we're one of my clients. He works up there. I don't know. It's the one in Miami Shores. Is that the one you go to?
Oh, Midtown.
Midtown.
Midtown. Okay. So yeah, no, I've been meaning to go check it out. I've been to the one in Boca, but I got to go to the one in Miami. Check it out soon.
Yeah,
Definitely during the prep.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right, guys.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good night. Take it easy.
I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast.
Yeah,
Anytime,
man.
man. You're a friend of the pod. You can always hop on. You got stuff to say.
I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All
All
right,
right, bro.
later.